There it is.
But you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Thanks. Let's go into prayer. Lord, we just we come before you so humble and so grateful for your word, for protection, for insight into Israel's history and how we can apply it to our lives. I pray for our fellow believers in Nashville that have been hit so hard by these tornadoes in the middle of the night. Personally, Father, the people that have been hit, I just pray that the church would just come alongside them and help them in their time of need, and that the city would see that, and that they would see the love of Jesus through your people in that area. I pray that, Lord, as we discuss all these judges and all these people, that you would keep our heads straight with all the names. But Father, that we would also learn from their lives, because we know that's why it's written. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Okay, first impressions. What you got?
Again. Again, it's right.
And again. Good. Yeah, kind of did that myself.
And they cry out to God and he hears them.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Right. Were you surprised when you read, they cried out to the Lord and he said,
right.
I know. I was like, and then later on it's
like, but you can't do that. You can't do that.
I was kind of glad he did, because I thought it was such a great parenting example.
Right? And they decided to do right on their own, even though they knew he's not gonna.
Right.
He said he's not going to, but they know what to do. They knew what to do.
They knew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I'm sending you to your room, you figure it out yourself. Yeah, they already knew what to do. And they did it, to their credit. To their credit, they did it.
Right.
Who else did you read when you went?
Abimelech.
Abimelech. Okay.
Wow.
Pretty atrocious.
Pretty atrocious.
Really?
Yeah.
Really.
So hopefully that's somewhere in your theme for that chapter.
Larry was the king. Yeah.
Very
Larry
what?
was saying,
What was the word you used?
I want to be king.
I want to be king.
right. I am the hero. I'm gonna be
I am gonna be it, and you will make me it.
And how many of the 10 Commandments did he break?
That's a good point.
Oh my goodness.
That's a very
No other
good
God
point.
before me, no killing, no coveting,
Right.
no stealing.
No murdering of brothers,
Right.
you know, that kind of stuff.
And it's not that he didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he
Would
knew
you
what
rather be ruled by one man or by 70?
Right. I can handle the 70. I can take care of those for you. So we did.
And
No,
you
they were never going to rule them, because Gideon had already said no.
Right. So they really weren't a threat.
Yeah.
But you know, guys, they're competitions.
Yep.
Good.
Just because my mom wasn't,
Right. We're going to get into that too. Two of them were like that.
Exactly. One of our
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our
If you go review, it's interesting. There's 5 judges. Okay? And 5 enemies. So when you're looking at your chart, it's sometimes that's a good thing to put that chart on. You're like, oh, look at that. I never saw it like that before. And interesting, I found out this morning, Googling, the judges of Israel in order. So there's a cheat sheet there. The judges of Israel in order.
Oh, in honor. Yeah.
They are. How long they judged, who their enemies were, and all that. Just like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Now, how many more judges do we have?
Oh, several.
One.
One.
Samson.
Yep.
That's it. He's the end. Now, so if you want to know what those 5 enemies were, right? You got Othniel as your first one. His enemy was Mesopotamia. That's pretty big. Okay. Ehud. Right. And I always remember Ehud for Eglon and, the fat over the, left-handed, all that kind of stuff. Then you got Shamgar. He delivered from Philistines. Then you got what? Deborah. Good. We could put Barak in there as well, but Deborah was the judge.
She was the judge.
Okay. Delivered Israel from
Canaanites.
Canaanites, we're very familiar with the Philistines and the Canaanites. And then Gideon, who delivered him from the Midianites. Okay? So, if you got behind on your chart, this isn't cheating. This is learning from one another. You know, copy. I copied from Mary Ann. I'm like, I want to see what you have. Not that I ever did that in school, but it's like, okay, I don't like this close thing. Let me see what your stuff has to say. Why? Why did they have these enemies?
Because they didn't drive them out.
They didn't drive them out.
They didn't obey what was allowed.
Exactly. Where are all their wars taking place?
In the
In their own land.
Yeah.
They're not pursuing to go out against an enemy. The enemy is
right there.
right there. They don't have to travel far to have their war. Now, what's the difference in that and Joshua?
Joshua, they were just coming in to take their land.
Exactly. And they were traveling. And some far north, some just across the river, some way south, some way west. It just depended on where their land was. And how do you think those people were enticing them to follow their gods? How is that an enticement?
Because they could see them, you know, and they
Good.
might can see the works of what God had done, but they can visually touch and feel. And
There's the problem.
That's it.
That's the problem. Touchy-feely. Touchy-feely. I can.
Involved.
Right.
I think
Right.
there's
Because of our senses.
Yeah.
two words. The L word, lust,
Right.
and the C word, covet.
What is it about those gods that they would lust and covet about? What is
Shiny
it?
object. I don't know.
But I think some of the problem comes in with also the giving their daughters
Yeah.
and everything.
In marriage.
Their
In
daughters
marriage.
were already worshiping these. They were way ahead, so their spouse is going to say, oh, "Okay, I'll go along with that."
Right.
Yeah.
To keep the peace in the house.
Yes.
Keep the peace.
Right.
So
Right.
Baal,
That's an enticement.
Yeah.
I can see that.
the Baal was a god of fertility and prostitution.
Okay, that's something.
Male and female prostitution was very prevalent.
Plus, what's it going to hurt if we do both?
There you go, too.
Sometimes it's just the people around you and what they are into. So, you know, like you are
That's
like
fun.
the company you keep, and
Yeah.
so
And it's easier not to speak up. It's easier just to go along. Well, I don't believe this really, but I'm just going to go along with this because it keeps the peace. Yeah.
They seem to be doing pretty well, so
They're nice.
And what about, I'm just not able to have children. I'm just not, maybe I need to go follow
It's
this
works
God because
best.
this girl doesn't seem to have a problem.
Yeah.
it's works based, and we want to do something. I can do something. I mean, my older brother goes to a church that follows idols. They
That's
literally
true.
worship idols in my brother's church,
That's
and that's
true.
what it is. It's all about he thinks he needs to earn his way to God. He works hard. He does the idol stuff. They have to do this and that. They all do all these fastings.
Right.
It's all the rules because he feels like that's like he has to do it to get to God. He can't accept grace.
Being a rule follower myself, it's sometimes I look at the Old Testament believers and go, that was easier. Because if I did that, then I just did this. And I'm all better. And it's obvious of what I did and that I've done something outwardly and I'm good. Now, New Testament believer, it's all about your heart. Now, it was all about their heart there too. But it was more about outward sacrifice and all this kind of, and then sin really cost them greatly. Sin for us was bow our head. Oh, thank you, Lord, that you have shed your blood and forgive me, and we're on our way. Not so in the Old Testament. That cost them. They had to actually go out in their flock, get something out, slit its throat, whether that was your kid's pet or whatever. That's the one that's blameless, so that's the one that has to get sacrificed because dad or mom did this. It cost them. Sin doesn't seem to cost us so much in the New Testament because we're in grace. It cost Jesus everything. Judy, were you going to say something?
Just that it's like a frog in a boiling pot. I mean,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
immersed in it, and it doesn't seem that it's so bad. And then before you know it, it's not bad at all. I
Right.
mean, you may have been uncomfortable at first, but you just kind of declined to that point.
Just let it in.
Yeah.
Start
it's-
accepting it.
You start accepting as normal, and this is just the way it is. I can't fight it, so.
It creeps in, it doesn't,
It does.
they probably
It
didn't
creeps
happen
in.
all of a sudden for
Creeps
most
in.
of them.
And they're removed from the generation that entered the land, so.
That's a key.
Right.
Boy, is that a key.
Right.
They didn't see the
Another
Red Sea
generation.
parted. They didn't see the 10 plagues. They didn't, but boy, they heard the stories. Okay? All right, Judges 9, 1 through 6. What's that about? And again, if you had a possible theme, shout it out.
Israel's ingratitude to God and Gideon.
And Gideon. I like that. I like that. Yeah, Gideon's got to be in there somewhere, because you got to connect Gideon and Abimelech somehow, because there's proof of that. Where's the proof of that?
8:31.
Thank you. 8:31 tells you Abimelech is Gideon's son. So don't ever go, well, I'm not really sure. Yes, because some of the commentaries I read went, mm-mm.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. Don't make scripture say something it doesn't say. When what's obvious is obvious. What's obscure, let it be obscure. Okay? He's king for 3 years. Okay? How do we know? Again, he's by a concubine. Right. Right. Okay. And why is Shechem important? Because where did Gideon live?
Gideon lived up north.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So his concubine who had this son was down south.
Right.
But Shechem was also a big, prominent city in Israel.
Yes.
That's where Abraham got his promise. That's I mean, there's a
Huge.
lot of history.
A
That's
lot of history in Shechem.
There's a lot of history and foundation in Shechem.
Good. Okay, he has 70 sons. Are they in
Nope.
Shechem?
No.
Oh, another thing, Shechem was a city of refuge. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, is it really?
I thought that was interesting. Shechem was a city of refuge. So when you're reading it and then you realize the city of refuge, it makes a lot of things go, wait
Yes,
a minute. Like,
it
this was
does.
a Levite city. This was one owned by the Levites. It was a
Well,
city
yeah.
of refuge.
If it's a city of refuge. Wow. Okay. Was Jotham born before or after? What's the other one? Jair. Remember the one that didn't want to
I thought Jay.
slice the zip. It had to be after, because he's the youngest. Okay,
Those are
and
strict
again,
rules.
kind of go back and cross-reference yourself to go. Wait. He had a really, really young son because he told him to kill those two, but he couldn't because he wasn't ready yet. So Gideon did it.
Right.
Wait, who? Okay, make sure you cross-reference that and go. This guy was born after that. Okay.
Okay, the 70 sons though. It says he killed 70 sons, but then there's still one left.
Right.
So was there 70 or 71?
There's 70, but again, I would go.
I was having a lot of
minus
trouble with that
one.
one.
Yeah.
Minus one, because there's 70, so he's going to kill them all except Jotham escaped.
Because
Right.
he escaped.
He escaped.
He's a son as
Yeah,
well.
he's also a
Right.
son, so there's,
72.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that's where I was like, but
Right.
he's a son, so then there's 72 if you
Yeah,
add them
yeah.
on there. I was really confused with that 70 number.
Make the obvious, and the obscure, let it go.
Right.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
Okay? Because again, does it matter?
That's what we do.
No.
It doesn't, except for those of us that really
He
like
got
it.
away.
Really away. But it's like, I gotta go let that go because
He
it doesn't
got
matter.
away and got
Killing
some
70
music.
people is enough. Okay? Why didn't Israel show kindness to Gideon's family? Because it says in 8:35 they didn't. Look at what this guy did for them. Why?
I referenced that back over to 9:5 though,
Okay?
because I thought, how unkind was that to go kill all of your father's sons?
Yeah.
And I wondered if maybe that was a reference, because Israel allowed
Well, that was where I went.
Abimelech to do it.
Where's all the other people to stand
And
up and
then-
fight for them?
yeah,
They weren't
exactly.
there. They just allowed it to happen.
So
I don't understand.
that's where I went with that reference.
And it's on one stone, so is he doing it in different places?
Yeah, that's what Larry said. Next.
It's at the same
Yes.
place. You're like,
It's like,
okay,
why are we all
whoa,
standing
what
here
are you
like
doing that
cows?
for? Oh, okay. You're like,
Yeah.
No one
I mean-
fighting back?
no one.
I know.
Done.
Well, one of the things that stuck out was because Abimelech was born to the concubine, he had no rights to
Nothing.
his family. He had nothing. So
Nothing.
I think that probably weighed pretty heavy on him. I mean, there were 70 sons, brothers ahead of him.
Right?
That
That did have an inheritance,
That'll
right?
move me up the ladder fast.
So what's this telling you about his character?
He was
It'd be kind of like coming down the hallway, Abimelech's coming, okay, we're getting in the hallway, we're getting in the classroom. Just let him go. We don't want to be around that guy, he's hot-tempered. Or he's not a man of honor.
Right. Thug.
He's a thug. Okay, good. Is he supposed to be king?
No.
No. Is Israel supposed to even have a king?
No.
No.
God is your king.
Does Abimelech know that?
Yes.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Because
Yeah.
Daddy
Does
said-
Israel know that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Do the men of Shechem know that?
Yes.
Yes, they do. Okay, so,
In Deuteronomy, God did allow for king. He laid out the rules
yeah.
if that's.
If you're going to have a
If you're
king,
gonna
then
go
he's
that
going
way.
to do
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And every king did exactly what he said.
I read somewhere
Just
that
like
this was
God
this was almost like a warning to Israel that you don't want a king. Like God showed them,
Right?
look, this is what happens when you get a king.
Which is
Let's
great.
stick with the judges.
That's the first one, right?
I
Whack,
thought
whack,
it was
whack,
kind of
whack, whack.
interesting.
Good.
I
Oh,
wouldn't have
boy.
thought of that. I read that.
Why
in
wouldn't it
college,
be
and I was like,
her?
oh, that's a good point.
That is
Like,
a
really,
very
it's
good
a warning
point.
there.
Maybe they were
Foreshadowing.
Maybe they were tired of being judged and
Yeah.
wanted just some, can we just not be judged? Can you not bring up my sin?
Right.
Maybe a king would just say to the whole country, no matter if you're Jew or Gentile, this
There you go.
applies to everybody.
There you go. Good. They wanted to be like the other nations, like what we read.
That's right. We want to
Okay.
be like the other nations.
Why does he want to appeal to his relatives in Shechem?
Support.
Mhm.
And it's away from the patriarch side of the
Good,
family.
good. All the other guys that
Right.
have the inheritance.
Right.
So they would have known him
His
because
mother was-
that's where he lived.
His mother was there.
And his mother was there, okay? They pagan. Where does that money come from?
Temple bell.
The idol, right?
Yeah.
Right? Did you notice the name Baal Berith?
I know it is, but I didn't look it up.
What is Berith?
There's.
Berith.
Hold on.
No, it's covenant.
Yes.
Oh,
Berith is covenant. So they've attached covenant to Baal.
Oh, my goodness.
How,
What a mess.
how sacrilegious is that?
yes.
You're just,
I
you're
never
making a
thought
covenant with
about
an idol that you made.
Right.
Okay. Now, what does he do with those 70 pieces? Oh, silver.
Hires.
He hires
Hires
mercenaries.
thugs.
He hires mercenaries. Thank
Hire
you.
some more thugs.
He hires some more thugs because that's who he knows.
Yeah.
Those are his buds, and that's who he hangs with. So
They understand one.
they understand one
You can't hide criteria.
another.
Worthless
Right?
and reckless. He was really looking for the best.
He
of the
was
best here.
really right.
You'll
Scott.
do.
They'll do. I know you because I've done this and this with you, and I got dirt on you, and you got dirt on me. So I'll hire you. Yeah. Okay.
You guys would do what I want you to do.
Right. Right. And again, they're hired, so they're being paid. Okay. He murders his 70 brothers. I said save one, just because we know Jotham escapes. Okay. Who makes him king?
His family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relatives, men of Shechem who know him, whatever. Does Israel make him king?
No,
Not that I can tell.
no, I thought I can do.
But the men of Shechem did. Shechem did.
Yeah, Shechem.
Okay?
And they did it at that oak, where all these like amazing
Yeah.
biblical stories happen. That one really bothered me. Like, there's all these great stories, and then
As if,
you know.
as if to justify.
Ah,
Yeah.
see?
See?
And in the margin, couldn't you put next to
We're
Baal
following the
Berith, a shocked face or a sacrilege or whatever?
Yeah.
Then go down to that oak and put the same thing.
Well, you're trying to put both of them together.
You're trying to justify your actions. Yeah, yeah.
That Beth Milo is what?
Beth Milo, the shadow of the oak, what was that called? Oak of the pillar,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
in Shechem,
Oh,
verse 6.
yeah.
Yeah. It
Okay?
does say in verse 22 though. Now Abimelech ruled over Israel 3 years.
Because
it
he
does
was
say
made
he ruled
king.
over Israel.
Because
so
he was
had
made
some kind
king.
of thing. I know, but it wasn't just Shechem.
Oh, no.
He did rule
But
over
he was
Israel.
made king. And again, they need a leader. They need a judge. They need somebody. So it's like, hey, they made him king, so I guess he's it. Now, whether they agree with it or not, that doesn't say.
But who will stand up against him?
There you go. There's the
Pretty bad.
big $1 million question, right? And I'm not sure I would be after I just watched him kill 70 people. When nobody stood up and defended. Nobody. No way.
It's the did what's right in their own eyes. It's like
There you
that's
go.
Yep.
Okay? So he seized leadership of Israel. He wasn't given it. God didn't raise him up. No, he just seized it. Okay? All right, you looked for your cross references on page 51 of your homework and your word studies. Okay, any big giant judge means this and king means this. Did you get any aha? Because personally I didn't. I was like, did you guys get any ahas?
Well, I think it was just the difference on who appoints who.
And the role of each one.
Is it coming from God or is it coming from man
Good.
without
Good.
God's direction?
Right. Right. And we know in Samuel, God tells Samuel to get Saul as king. But here,
Yeah.
God is
Man's just
absent. He's not.
running amok.
Right. He's not even there.
I was surprised that judge did mean to judge or govern. That govern was also, because that is
Yes.
a political-ish position.
totally
it's not
is.
king, but it's still, I thought judge was just like judging almost like a Levite, like, just
Now,
the.
see, I thought Deborah sitting under the tree, and they came to her to be judged. So they brought their difficult scenarios or whatever to her, so she could give what they should do,
Right.
and then they would
the
do
king
it.
too. I mean, David, that happened a lot, where they would come and bring their
Yeah.
disturbances and stuff to him.
Okay, but
So,
There's a big hereditary factor here too,
Yeah,
that
that's a
you
good
gotta
point.
consider. A king was
Bloodline.
in a
what's
line.
bloodline?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that,
I need to put that next to my
Yeah.
definition, because
but see,
that's a
that
huge
is also
difference.
kind of a God-given thing, because God chose who would be the firstborn to be the one that would reign.
Oh, yeah, he chose.
So there
He
was
chose it
still-
all.
Yeah.
He
So
chose
there's
it
still
all.
the chosen thing with God on there with judging.
But I really like the bloodline. That
well, there,
yeah.
and while I kept looking more and
Yeah.
more at this stuff, I kept finding more similarities than I did differences
Between king and judge.
between king and judge. It was,
So maybe it's a natural transition.
I thought it was
But
like
there is one big thing about a judge. A judge ruled under the Lord's guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
His
only
purpose-
spoke what the Lord
His
said.
purpose was to bring the people back to God.
yeah.
That
And
was
not-
the
that's
purpose
not
of
the
a judge.
king.
That's
Royal
That
was
is
the
not
big
the
king.
king.
The big difference I saw was royal. Like the king was a royal position.
Like
it was
bloodline.
almost like a selfish. It was the feeling of it. Like I am king. Like there's a pride thing to it. Where the
Which is
judge,
why
the judge
Abimelech
was
wanted
words
that,
that
huh?
like govern. It was things they do, but not a position. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like almost like a.
Because the judge wasn't in a position, but the king definitely lived in a special house and all
He
that.
had. It was more of a job than a royalty. Like it's almost a different thought of how you.
It
king,
is.
you get more prideful because you are the king. Versus
Right.
the judge, you're working for God.
Your,
there's
your
lower
apparel is
position to
probably
it.
even different.
Oh, yeah.
Because, purple and crown and all that.
Thing, one of the big differences here is what Mary Ann brought up. With the king, say David, because he was.
Yeah.
And even David made some major mess ups.
Yeah.
The king made the laws, and you live under the king's
Under
laws.
the king's laws.
God, with a judge like
Yeah.
Deborah,
He didn't make the law.
who is using God's law
To judge.
to
Right.
judge.
That's a good point.
That's a huge major difference there.
See, all those things, I'm surprised you guys were going with this. Well, I would be like in my book going, okay, that's the king, and that's the judge. That gives way more expansion to the definition rather than just looking it up. So now I want to go a judge. Okay, he, again, just to reiterate, he is getting words directly from the Lord to give to the person, which Solomon was kind of too, wasn't he?
Which are designed
do
to
that.
deliver
Yes.
and provide.
And
Right.
point back to
Point
the
back to
Lord
Him.
and what his
Right.
thing. The king makes laws. He lives in a
Enforces
different
his
house.
laws.
He wears different apparel. It's not like, I personally, I think the judge could walk down the street and you wouldn't know who he was. King can't do that.
That's
He
a
walks
different
down there, everybody
Yeah.
clears.
And he has many wives, concubines.
Ah, good
the
point
whole
to that,
lifestyle
too.
that goes with the world.
Right.
Good point. You were in 1 Samuel 8 and 10. That was page 52. What are we doing there? Who was that about?
The different forms of government,
Good.
rule.
Rule.
1 Samuel 8, I thought was interesting. It said, appoint to us a king, which was the word king that we looked up,
Right.
to judge us. And that judge is the word judge we looked up.
Isn't that something?
So they want a king to do the job of a judge.
They want to combine.
Yeah.
So they look more like everybody else.
Right.
I
Okay.
thought that was interesting. We want the same thing we're getting, but we don't want them to be a king.
How does that relate to you? they look more like everybody else. So I don't stand out. What was Israel's purpose? I can't get past this. What is your purpose in life? I hope you are sweating over that handout I gave you, because those blanks, you just don't, well, that's not really the word I want. And I have to keep waiting for the word I want to put in that blank that would encompass what I'm trying to figure out is my purpose for life at this place in history, in God's timing, in God's story, so that when my life is over, I'm finished with whatever that purpose is. Okay, what is the purpose here?
We're a temple, and this last night I was at a church service that was the whole thing. It was taken out of 1 Peter. Our body is a temple, but now during the New Testament eras, God is within us. We don't have to travel to talk to God. We don't
Praise
have to.
the Lord for that.
We don't sacrifice an animal anymore. Every day, by what we do, is a sacrifice to God.
Right, right.
And He's pleased with that aroma.
Right? That's our goal.
Yeah.
I think I was listening to Chuck Swindoll pray this morning, saying, Lord, let this day be significant for you. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
Lord,
Wow.
please let this day be significant in the story that you're writing in history. And if I have any part in it, please let me do that significant part, because no day needs to be wasted. But don't let me miss it. Now, doesn't mean walk by, well, that wasn't anything. That could have been everything. I don't know, but it could have been. Mary.
The purpose for Israel was to draw
The other
the
nations.
other people to them, because they would see
Right.
how God loved Israel,
Right.
how He took care of Israel, that you look at
How he fought for them.
You look at
Phew.
you look at His commandments and Testament. It's God's common sense.
They are. And
Common sense.
what's so cool is if you read, if you go through the Leviticus and Deuteronomy, people go, oh my gosh, you're kidding. You read that, medical practices are based on that literal thing.
God's common sense.
It's just awesome to see how he set things up. Okay, if God set things up, Israel's supposed to draw the nations right to God. That's their purpose. That's why he brought them up out of Egypt, set them apart with Abraham. That's their purpose. Are they fulfilling their purpose? No, but kind of in a way they are. Because when they disobey, what happens to them?
Right. God, people see.
Why is that happening to them?
Yeah.
Who
because God said it
cares?
was.
They're just like us.
Right.
Yeah.
Why? So why is that happening to them? Why is that bad for them and doesn't really matter for us?
It does matter.
That's not their purpose. So in a way, they still are witnessing, but they're suffering for that because they're showing the world God cares about Israel. And judgment is coming upon them because they're not doing what he's told them to do. Not good. Oh, and they know what happens. Well, Israel's cried again, so what's happening in Israel? Things are pretty good. They must have repented. That's great. Oh, things are going bad again. 70 people just got whacked on a stone. Things must be going bad again.
Yeah. But it's all drawing attention to God.
It is.
Creator.
Whether it's a good or bad.
And good.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to decide how you're going to live
You
your
do.
life as you're watching God play out in front of us his plan,
Right.
his activity.
Right. And but people
And
know.
what are you going to do about
Even
it?
though you think people don't know, people know.
And
People
we have
don't
the same.
even watch.
We have the same job now.
Yes, we do.
Well, that's what last night the point came across, that the Israelites were God's chosen people, and he was there with them. Where now, God is within us.
Right.
And we become that temple. Now we're his chosen people.
Yes, we're included in that.
Yeah.
All right, verses 7 to 21. Don't get tired of doing observation worksheets this week. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's another page. Oh no! And yet, I got finished. That was just God. That was just totally God. I actually got mad because he woke me up late one morning. I'm like, really? How am I supposed to do it? When I got done, I was like, well, sorry. Thank you. Okay, 7 to 21. What is this all about?
Warning, warning, warning.
Right, Will Robinson, that's what I kind of feel like.
Yeah.
Okay?
About truth versus,
Who's telling the truth?
oh my goodness.
The remaining.
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Jonathan, the last
Little brother.
the little brother.
Okay, he ran
Right.
to save his life, and
Right.
Now he's standing up, going,
here I
hear ye, hear ye.
am. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what mountain is he standing on?
Gerizim.
And that should be cursings, right? Because that's what he said. No,
Mhm.
Yeah.
this is
Mountain of
the
blessing.
mountain of blessing.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is the first parable. Didn't you kind of feel like you're reading the New Testament that Christ was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wait, now this stands for this and this stands for that. Shouldn't that be in
Never thought
Matthew?
that either.
Okay? He presented a parable. So you had your chart, right, in your homework. You had the olive, the fig, the vine, and the bramble. Now, what did the three have in common? The
They
first
all
three.
produce something good and useful.
And useful, yes. Okay? And they knew what their purpose was.
Right.
Because were they enticed to go and
No.
wave over real? It's
Yeah.
like, why would I go do that?
I've been
Okay.
called to do this.
It's like, Lord, please let me look at sin like that. Why would I want to do that? That's what I want to do. I want to look at sin and recognize it just like that and go, why would I want to do that? That's not my purpose.
Yeah.
They all knew their purpose,
Yes.
and it was useful.
And can't you see it?
Right.
It's like,
Like, what a
they're
dumb
talking
question.
Yeah, what a dumb question.
Why would you ask me that?
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Can't you see for yourself?
Come rule over it. Why do you want somebody to rule over? What is that? That's stupid. That's not what they did. They just went, I'm going to continue to do my purpose, and this is my purpose, and I
It was a great
really good. Then the bramble. Okay?
Hey, bud, come on over.
Right? What's the bramble's purpose in the ground?
Hurt you.
To hurt you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's his purpose. Okay? And some commentaries say that may be the very vine kind of thing that they used in Christ's thorns, you know?
Yeah.
That's reaching.
Yeah.
It's not obvious. It's just
They have
a
the
speculation.
They have the thorn tree in Israel.
Right. Right. He's good for nothing but thorns. Why ask him?
It's like,
Nobody left.
don't you see what
There's
I'm
nobody
offering?
left, right? Okay, obviously, who's the bramble in the parable?
I didn't notice it until I read a commentary. They said the whole like shadow, he offers his shadow, which is a joke. I mean, because
Which
the
is a
brambles
joke?
are, yeah, because brambles are low to the ground,
Yeah.
they don't cast much of a shadow,
They
and
don't
it's
produce.
Good
so
point.
I wouldn't have caught it except for the commentary, but I was because he said, "Oh yes, come sit in my shadows," what the bramble says, and it's like,
shadow.
They also
What?
are.
But they grow up. I mean, I have vines that I find all the time, and they
No,
grow
a
up.
bramble is a weed. What do weeds
On the
do but
ground.
grow up and choke out?
The good. Yeah, which is a constant fight
Yeah,
to keep
with
them
the
back.
scraggly
Yeah.
bush.
but if they are growing up and casting a shadow with the tree, it's the tree's shadow. It's
There
not
you
the
go.
bramble's shadow.
There
He
you
doesn't
go.
have a shadow of his own. He's pretty much just like,
Good.
I mean, it's a worthless
He doesn't have a
offer.
shadow of his own. Good.
And they produce
Good.
nothing of value.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Except to hurt you.
So he's
Right.
talking about Abimelech. You're
Yeah.
going to choose
Yeah.
Abimelech?
You're going to
Represent-
choose this guy? Okay, and again, I don't think the men of Shechem were stupid. I think they
If you-
totally got it. Did it change their actions whatsoever?
If you get in the shadow of a bramble, what do you have to do? Get down in the dirt and crawl.
It might
Yeah.
have. Their
Your
tone
face is in
changed.
the dirt.
After this, their tone changes. They ended up fighting against Abimelech. So
That's-
Okay,
that might have
but
been in the back
that
of their
comes
mind.
from something else,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
that does.
So let's get there.
But this might have been in the back of the mind that helped with that.
Could be, again, though that's not obvious.
No.
So be careful. That's why I'm so glad you do all your stuff and then you read your commentary. Because
Right.
I feel like I had the power to go, I don't think that's right. I think you're probably smarter than I am, but I didn't see that. The Spirit of the Lord didn't show me that, so I'm not buying that part. Because I don't have any proof of it. It's just your opinion. Okay, now maybe they're backing their opinion up because of previous lots of other study they had, but I haven't had that. So this is what the Lord showed me, and I'm not copying that down because I don't get
And
that.
how
What's God
sweet-
telling you?
Yeah.
There you go.
How sweet is that?
That's so
to hear
awesome.
from the Lord.
Hear directly from God yourself and
Because you know that Holy Spirit that spoke to you spoke to them too. It's
Yeah.
like, I love that.
I love that.
Jotham also gave a curse. Okay? So make sure you reference back to this curse because does it happen? Oh yeah, it happens. Okay? 22 to 55. Okay, now I know that's a lot of verses, but in verse 23, then God sent what? Do you mark the sovereignty of God in the word a certain way? Because if you don't, start now. I'm sorry, evil spirits, isn't that Satan's control?
God's in control of everything.
So is it God in control of Satan too?
Yeah.
Okay.
God is sovereign.
God is sovereign over
Yeah.
all. Okay? He sent an evil spirit. Now, there's where my speculation can come in and go, this evil spirit's probably going to idol work for you. But you can't. Yes, I can make it idol. I can just see it. I'm just like, oh, I just love it. But he has to do what God tells him because
Yeah.
there's no one more powerful than the Lord.
I think they feed on it. So to me, it's like letting a wild dog loose. They just
Oh,
tear
you
it
want to
after
stir him
it.
up? That's
Yeah,
good too.
that dog's not going to waste his time going, I'm not going to listen to you. No, he's off running with got his teeth.
Let me do what I do
drooling
best.
and ready to
Stir up trouble. Yeah, I love that. Between Abimelech and his buds. These are the guys that made him king.
Right.
Well, but who did you pay?
Yeah.
Worthless and reckless men. I think the money's probably run out by now. No more money, no more loyalty. So,
Where'd you get the money from?
yeah, let's go back to the temple of the idol and get some more.
Money.
He sent an evil spirit. Why did he send? Now you got to ask yourself, why did he do that? He's got a purpose. Why did he send an evil spirit to stir up between Abimelech and Shechem?
Well, he had to change Abimelech's mind
Okay.
and what he was doing. I mean, he had to make him realize you just killed your brothers.
There has to be payment for
Where you're
that.
headed and what you want is not
Good.
what these people need.
Good.
Maybe
It
the
says
man
in
of Shechem
24.
said, what did we do?
Right? Right? But what does verse 24 say?
So that violence done to the 70 sons of Jeroboam might come and their blood might be laid on Abimelech, their brother, who killed them. So revenge.
Okay.
I mean, it's not
Right.
revenge, but justice. Like,
And,
Right.
and to
Justice.
the leaders who strengthened his hand.
Right. Right. God will repay, but it's in his timing. Okay? We want justice now, because that's just, and yet where we live, it's like, but they may come to know Jesus within that. So have mercy. Maybe this is their time. Maybe this is what's going to actually turn them to the Lord. But I want justice now. Yes, but that could be their whole eternity. He gave them time. They didn't. He repays, because that's his job. Okay? So again, if you don't have why up next to verse 23, put why, and then verse 24, because. Mistrust came between them. Why? How does that develop all of a sudden? The evil spirit. Right.
but that's also typical in the world, though.
I was going to ask,
That's
what starts in your head? Okay, what starts in your head of mistrust? Now, it might be justified. It might be simply your perception of what happened. But this is what happened. Oh no, that's what I saw. This is what you saw, but what was behind that?
The Holy Spirit.
Okay? Okay? So it can just go like this. Okay?
I've
That
heard
happens.
a lot of testimonies of people that, like, before they're saved, hang out with the wrong crowd, do bad things. Then as soon as something comes up, they scatter, right? Like, if police show up,
Somebody gets
it's
caught.
everybody for themselves, who cares, right?
Right.
It's that whole thing, and that's just
Yeah.
the world mentality, is you don't get each other's back. And I remember one testimony when I was in high school that really stuck with me, somebody that had that kind of thing. And, like, the only friends that were still there from him after all this stuff happened was his Christian friends. And he
Wow.
realized that these Christian friends that he'd made fun of and hadn't treated well all this time
Were
were
his
the only
friends.
ones still left loving him when everybody else scattered. And
Right.
it's typical with the world is you can't, I mean, look at politics and how certain political people handle things. And you turn your
And
back
look
on
at
it
the
just like
words
that.
he used here.
Yeah.
Truth
Yes.
and what? Integrity. Integrity is your character when somebody's not looking. They are looking. It's just who you are. It's not, okay, nobody's watching, so I can.
Get away with it.
Yeah, why would I want to do that, right? Like the fig, the vine, and the olive tree. Why would I want to do that? I'm not made for that. Nor are you made for sin. Okay? Though it can be enticing. Gaal. Do we even know who this guy is? the son of Ebed. Okay, where did he come from?
I
don't know.
I can't find
It
it.
said he crossed over, so he must have been over on the
East side of Jordan.
side of the
Yeah.
Jordan.
But was he in Israel part of east side of Jordan or farther out? Like, you
But
can't
but
find
why
it.
would he cross over? Why him? Why not him, and him?
Well, because the Lord decided to use
That's
him.
right.
There you go. Because God is sovereign over all. So here he comes, and he encourages these guys, don't serve Abimelech. I mean, who is he? Well, he's a guy who just sliced 70 people, and I'm a little afraid of him. God doesn't seem to be afraid of him at all. Okay, so little speculation there. I don't think this is a little puny guy that can go hide in a mountain somewhere. I think this is probably a valiant warrior just that can take over.
I didn't find a lot about him.
Nothing.
No, there's nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing.
It's nothing.
Nothing. But he is a leader enough to get them to listen.
And probably
Okay.
where he's coming from, he perhaps was not impacted by this Abimelech.
That's quite possible.
And he also has an entourage with him called his relatives.
Relatives.
But we don't know
Yeah.
if he's even Israelite or.
I don't even know.
Right.
We have no
I
idea.
don't even know. But, stir it up,
Yeah.
right? Judy.
Speculation I found was that since he's urging the people to serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem,
Right.
and according to Genesis 33:19, where Jacob had dealings with these original Canaanite settlers. in
Yes,
Shechem.
that he's probably Canaanite.
So Canaanite.
I
is
think I
what
read
the
that
guess
this
is.
morning. Yes, yes. So what does Abimelech do? Okay, you could be leader. That isn't even his character.
No, no.
You wouldn't even expect that to come out of his mouth. So, reading the rest of the story is really not a surprise.
Bring him in.
That's it. That's it. He's already got a battle plan. He initiates the battle plan.
Yeah.
Tell me what he does to the city. But these were his buds. This was the men of Shechem. These were his buds.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing would grow.
Yeah, so when you sow salt, it's like, the
Yeah,
land
that
is
was an
ruined forever.
interesting thing. I had to look that up too. Where does salt come in? In that area, apparently, there was quite a bit of salt. Not
Readily
far
available.
from that, yes, and it was used for a lot of things. And
Well, I
this
wouldn't
was-
expect him to put a whole lot of effort into
No.
herding. So, because again, he is the bramble.
What's
That
sad
is
is
his
this is
nature.
such an important city in Israel history, and
I know.
it's
Like-
ruined.
Right.
No one kind of hurt. I was like, ow, look at all that history that was just
So
gone.
now I kind of want to look up Shechem in the rest of the Old Testament and go,
What happened?
what happened to that city? Little rabbit you could chase,
Yeah.
during spring. How did Abimelech end?
And he dies.
Killed by a
Mortally wounded.
Oh, yeah.
No, his armor bearer killed him.
Yeah, no.
No, not
That
really.
woman dropped a stone on his head.
Right? Okay. So Jair, Jair, or JL? Jael. JL. Jael and Deborah. Okay? And here you got another woman. We don't know her
Yep.
name, but okay. He is killed. He kills first about 1,000 men and women, right?
Yeah.
But his skull is crushed.
Well, I thought it was,
But
by
then
the
you
first
still
city.
talk. But he, well, yeah, Bill, he's
What
on
I
his
thought was
deathbed.
interesting though is it never says he actually put to fire the second city. He attacked Shechem. That one's put to fire everything. He was going to set it on fire before he got killed, and then it doesn't say anything.
And showed him how to
So
do
it's
it.
possible that all those
Yeah.
people survived. Because I was like, why? Okay, God wanted to get justice on Shechem for what they did.
Yes.
But this city wasn't mentioned in the curse or anything else. So
So how did Shechem get judged for what they did?
they were all killed.
Yeah.
But
Why?
this city wasn't in the curse. But they didn't. We don't know if they all got killed. 'Cause
Right.
It never says they actually set the fire.
Mm-mm. But Abimelech did the destroying, and then Abimelech got destroyed.
Right.
So God,
I just thought that God
Well,
killed
they
him right
did.
before he was about to do it and saved all those people.
isn't that something? Isn't that
He
something?
protected that city.
When your leader
So again,
dies-
when you read that, you should, reference back to Jotham's curse of this is what's going to happen if,
Yeah.
and it did. Okay, down to fire, down to fire. There was no king in Israel. Every man did what was right in his own eyes. Is Abimelech a great example of that? And people following him. Okay, why do you think workless and reckless men followed him?
To gain something,
They're one
probably.
the same.
They're one and the same. And to
He
gain.
was the same way.
Yeah,
Really?
right. Okay. That's
don't
bad
stand for
character
anything.
corrupts.
That's who he picked out.
That's who he picked out. Those were his buds. That's who he hung out
He
with.
wanted
So
the buds.
again, as parents, right, we can go, do you want to be like Abimelech? Don't hang out with the wrong people. Look what happened to him, or whatever, you know. Bad company corrects good morals.
And when you don't
I
stand for
think it's what it
anything, you'll
says.
fall for everything. Because they fell for Abimelech, but then they fell for the second guy. They're just like very wishy-washy. Whoever
Very.
sounds good, they're
Yeah.
going to. If you
Very.
don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything.
Question, if you heard Kay say something wrong, would you call her on it?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'd have to study it first.
Right?
I really
Right.
want to make sure.
Right. Because she can misspeak.
Yes.
Yeah,
She
yes,
can.
we all can.
We can all do that. Except for her, it's recorded.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And all these, I have called her on it.
I'll say we've had that
I did.
issue.
But I got wise counsel before I did that, and I talked to David. I'm like, David, I think she misspoke here. I don't think she meant to say that.
David Arthur.
Yes, her son, who runs the ministry now. And he agreed. And it was like, oh yeah, we've changed the workbook on that, but we need to change the video or redo the video. I'm like, because that's like, you know, Esther going before the king. David got killed. And who am I? I haven't studied as much as she has, but I know what she said here. That's not right. I just know that's not right. It can't be right based on blah 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 blah.
She was wrapped up in a situation at that time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, and I think that came out of her mouth, and she didn't realize it came out of her mouth. But again, greater.
Even Mark Rosenthal is going back and correcting
Exactly.
some of the videos that he had done back when.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So he is correcting some of those.
Like humility.
Yeah.
Like humility to do that.
Not one of us is too great to be
Gosh, no.
reproved.
Gosh, no. And I would hope you do that to your pastor. Hold them accountable because they're people just like you. Just like you. Okay, Judges 10. What's a theme that you've got for that?
Israel at peace. And then
And then,
again.
right? We know so much about Tola and Jair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hate that. Just
Got
hate
named.
it. And ruled. And ruled. It's like, oh, I know. Okay, but they made it into scripture.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
And Israel had judges.
and they had judges.
A couple of judges continuing.
Okay, but we also know they had the Philistines for how long? 18 years. Okay, so do we think Abimelech is
Right.
dead and then the Philistines just severely persecuted them, we'll say, for 18 years? And then, is that what we think?
I thought the 18 years came after these two judges. I actually had the
I did
18
too.
years under
Me too.
Jephthah.
Okay, thank you, because that's kind of where I went, but I was like, maybe, I don't know. We know that Tola is from Issachar. 23 years, that's great. Okay, Jair, the Gileadite, 22 years. I got 45 years already. Ooh, this is good. This is great.
I have him, they have him as tribe of Manasseh.
Tribe of Manasseh, Jair?
Yeah.
I messed that up?
Judges 10, 3 through
Yeah.
5.
Ah, missed that, the Gileadite. And, okay, I didn't put Manasseh, I just put Gileadite. I need to add that on there. Thank you.
Well, wait a minute. Where did you get
Wait.
Manasseh? Because I don't see it.
She said verse,
It doesn't say
It
Manasseh.
is-
It just says he's Gilead, and in the study it says Gilead refers to the tribe of Gad. In
Yeah,
the study.
Yes, it does.
They made
Yeah.
that
on the
point.
other
So,
side.
if he's Gilead, that would make him Gad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you see that?
Where do you see Manasseh?
10, 3 through 5. I
I'm
don't know, but
30.
anyway, that's what my
That's what your chart says?
chart says.
But scripture doesn't say that, Marjorie. So, put a question mark on your chart,
I shall.
will you? Because Marv made that, didn't he?
No, this came from Rose's book.
Oh, that's right.
The Rose-
That's right.
But where he's buried is right smack in between Gilead and Manasseh.
But that's where he's
on the map.
buried. That's where
Where
he's
he's
buried.
buried. Which
So you're
nobody
usually
in
typically
Gilead
buried in
had.
your tribe, so
Usually.
that could be right.
Is that why he,
That could be totally right.
that doesn't, it never says.
Okay, again, your theme, you've got to
Doesn't say the
include
other.
those two judges in there, and the persecution of the Philistines, okay? Israel did evil again and served. I got tired of writing all these. Baals, Ashtaroth, gods of Aram, Sidon, Moab, the sons of Ammon, and the Philistines.
They were covering all the bases.
Well, I get confused personally.
That's exactly what
I
they were
wondered
doing.
why
That's
they weren't
exactly
all
what they were
mentioned
doing.
before.
Well,
If they're mentioned
this
now,
whole
why weren't
thing,
they
and then we'll
mentioned
be good.
before?
But see how this goes exponentially? It gets worse and worse.
Yes.
Because we already know how to do that one, and that wasn't working so well. So maybe we need to add
try something
Ashtaroth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Ashtaroth and the Baal, okay, the gods of Aram, well, that's not really much different than, so let's add, and maybe this will happen. And on and on and on you
See how
go.
many we can add.
Right?
Were they all in Canaanite?
Were they all in Canaan? They were all in their land.
Yeah.
That I can confidently say, so that's Canaan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay?
I just hadn't heard mentioned.
Isn't that awful? I always look at the verbs of God. God sold them. God gave them over. God always draw your arrow from God to that verb that He did.
I don't think there's any correlation between when God sold and God gave. Because sometimes it used sold, sometimes it used gave. But it's not the same word. And I looked it up and it wasn't the same word. I don't remember what I saw, but sold is usually for a profit. Like there's a benefit. So why then sometimes God sold?
Aren't they enslaved? So now they're doing work for that people. Okay, so those people are gaining a service. They don't have to do anything
I
like
wonder if every time
that.
it's sold,
Maybe
they're
they were
slaves, it
slaves
says gave, they're not.
one place and not a total slave another place?
That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
hadn't
What does
thought
it?
of it before.
What does it mean to sell? Then into, again, all I can think of is slavery. Now I got math. Again, please check always my math. Always. I have 18 years for the Philistines. Then you got 23 years for Tola, 22 years for Jair, and where's the 3 years come from?
That was the 3 years of Abimelech serving as king.
Good, there you go. Okay? Just so, not that I have, this is how long to judge, that so that we know the 300 plus years where we're almost to the end of the 300 years. Because we've surpassed 300 years now. Okay? All right, if you're in verses 10 to 18, what are those about?
Cried
They
to the
figured out
Lord.
that this isn't working, so they cried out
There
to the Lord
goes the
again.
circle again.
There goes the circle again.
Yep.
Okay, in verses 10 to 18, who's speaking to them?
The Lord.
The Lord is speaking to them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that
if you're
works.
asking who, what, when, where, why, and how, what question comes up here? That's what I did. I'm like, how you doing that?
How does He speak to them?
Hi.
Yeah. Verse 11.
Because if they heard the verse of the Lord or the voice of the Lord,
Yeah.
It doesn't
trembling and
say it's through a
shaking, face
messenger.
down would happen. But that doesn't happen. And then what'd you say?
It doesn't say it's through a messenger.
It
doesn't
doesn't.
say there's a
No,
prophet
it
or anybody
doesn't.
He
speaking.
said to the sons of Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Maybe he was
how'd you do that?
I don't know, but he did.
I don't know. There's the obscure again. I'm like,
And they responded, the sons of Israel said to the Lord, we have
Right.
sinned.
to the Lord.
Right.
So they knew who was speaking to
Right.
them, okay, with proper response. That was the proper response. Okay? Who's reminding them of the history?
The
God
Lord.
himself.
He's
Yeah.
telling them,
Who
you've done this
did
and
it?
this and this and this.
You think you got any of the facts wrong?
Can you interchange God with Lord there?
Yes, I believe you can.
Yes.
Yahweh.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Lord
just-
God. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they say God and sometimes they say Lord, and I just
They do. And I think it's interchangeable. Verse 13. That was the saddest verse ever.
Asterisk that one.
I will no longer deliver. Oh.
well, you know they
You
say
can't
that
do that. Now you can't do that. I mean, they're repenting. They know you got it. You can't do that. But he can.
Jenny, they say people today can become past the point where God will
Yes.
take them to.
Right.
That's scary.
Isn't that scary?
It is. Even our country.
Even our country. Okay, so is Israel's response correct? Well, what does put away mean?
Again?
What does put away mean?
Out of
I
sight.
didn't say they destroyed that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They're put away there for, I mean, when I put away my holiday decorations, I know where they are.
And you're gonna have none next year.
And they're safely wrapped in bubble wrap.
And I can get to them.
And I can get to them whenever I want, and I know they're like right there. And I know what's in what box. I don't know. I didn't look up put away. I just know if you put it away, doesn't mean you went out and threw it in the fire, crushed it up, utterly destroyed it. I don't know. It doesn't say that.
Well, what do we do with our idols?
Right?
I mean, bringing this all to what
Personal
it means
application.
to me. What do we do? We fought the battle against our enemies,
Right?
and then
Then what?
they should be gone. They
Right.
should be rid of them.
So why does it get us again?
Because Satan is so,
Pretty
Right.
persistent.
Right?
Sneaky.
Right? And we still have to have that little piece of the ear where he can get to. We have to have still that little button.
and you
Still
know,
have to have that.
that only
Otherwise, we
comes,
wouldn't hear him.
that only comes by staying in the Word.
Amen.
Put away
Thank you.
is to turn aside, abolish, avoid, behead, cut off, degenerate, depart, dispose, go away, escape, gone, keep away, move past.
I don't see anywhere in there that it's utterly destroy and.
Turn away. Turn away's in there. is one of the
Well, I can see
definitions.
that.
Yeah. The main, the like, to turn aside is the direct
Right.
translation.
Right.
Those are all different.
Which is repent. I mean, if you're going one way and you turn aside and you go the other way, you have repented. That's true. Okay? What did they tell God to do?
What did they tell God to do?
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do, but as long as you can take away the.
Only deliver us.
But
Only-
please,
Do what you gotta do.
Oh,
Only please deliver us instead.
but
I
please,
love that. In other words, don't kill me.
Right.
Do what
Do
you
whatever you
gotta
gotta do,
do.
just don't
Just
kill
deliver
me.
us.
Right?
but it ends up with please deliver.
Please deliver.
This day.
Right. Do you not see them like children? They know exactly what they're supposed to do. But I just really would rather not. But everything else hasn't been working. So I guess they're in pretty dire straits at this point. So let's call it God.
And if you don't drive them out, what will they be to you? A snare.
A snare. And was that what happened?
Snaring, snaring, snaring.
Well, God doesn't lie. He knows. Or imagine now, which is beyond our mind, that God has already lived through creating the world and Revelation. It's not, that hasn't happened yet. Yes, it has.
The Lord says it will happen.
And he tells us how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Specifically, this is how it's going to. He's already done that. How's that possible? I'm not telling you I understand that. I don't understand that. But this is time for me. This is time for God. This
Time's the fourth dimension.
Yeah.
Time is.
He only put it in for us, so our little finite mind could compartmentalize things. Okay? I don't have to deal with that until tomorrow.
You notice, nowhere they say, wait a minute, God is speaking to us. I don't ever recall Bill.
Right?
Paul speaking.
Right?
You know, I never recall.
Again, we sit here and go, but have you ever look at yourself in the mirror and go,
Yes. Don't you get it?
why did you do that? Or why did you even listen to think that that would even be possible? How stupid is that? Well, you get sucked in. You forget. Or maybe you weren't in the Word that morning that made your little spidey senses go up to go, that's not right. Okay? The Lord could bear their misery no longer. So, next to verse 13, I put that verse. I'm like, but there's rescue. It's coming. Okay, what kind of character qualities does that show you about your God?
Oh my goodness. Mercy upon mercy upon mercy upon mercy.
Long suffering.
Deliverance. Yes, yes.
Long
Tender
suffering.
hearted.
That's how he uses the word again.
Again, right? That's how he uses the word
That's
again.
right.
Okay?
But isn't it nice
Kids
to,
are whining constantly. Please, 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 please. And after so long, I'm like, okay, fine. Just
Right?
fine.
Right? I used to tell my kids, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear you. If you can talk, I might be able to hear that, but I don't know what you're saying back there. And I'm thinking, God must be going, why did I create wine? This is driving me crazy. So, because we're children. We are just children. And I think about how impatient we get. But 300 years? 300 years. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And we get, I don't know, 2 or 3 times and we're 300 years? Wow.
But isn't it great to know that he is so long suffering,
Relief.
even with ours?
Such relief.
Whether we know, whether they're, what's the 2 sins? The ones that you know and the ones that you don't realize
Oh,
until
yes,
afterwards.
yes. I know what you're talking about.
The other thing is too, you know, we actually put up with that for a short time,
Yeah.
and then it goes down through to another generation. I mean, 300 years isn't just one person.
That would have gone down and down and
It's gotta
down.
get handed down.
And that generation would have thought, this is just how we handle it.
Yeah.
This is how we handle it.
Exactly.
So they're proliferating their sin is what they're doing. That's a good point.
Think of the change that we have gone through in the last 50 years.
Right? Just in society.
Yeah, but-
10
I'm
years.
not
is-
even that old and I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
change.
but-
10 years shocks me to death.
It's been accelerated in the last 10, 15
I vote.
years.
Ridiculously.
When we read in verse 18, the people, the leaders of Gilead said to one another, who is the man who will begin to fight against the sons of Ammon? He shall become head over all the inhabitants of Gilead.
What?
You know, God would have just.
Are you calling out that bramble again?
Right, calling out the bramble. They had no leader. Yes, they did. But no, they didn't. They just couldn't see it. Okay? Judges 11. Oh, we're doing good, you guys. I didn't know I could get through 4 chapters. Okay, verses 1 through 11. If you had a theme for Judges 11, what would it be?
Jephthah to the rescue.
It's got to have his name in there, right? He defeated Ammon. Yay, Jephthah. Okay? What do we know about him?
Warrior, son of a harlot.
Okay, one of the commentaries said he's called the valiant warrior just like Gideon before he knew he's a valiant warrior. I'm like, I don't agree with that. Why would you call him a valiant warrior and the people know that he's a valiant warrior because they went to him and wanted him to go fight?
Right.
So again, I didn't agree
He
with
already
that
proved
commentator.
himself.
He'd already
As a
proved
valiant
himself.
warrior.
That's his
Yeah.
first description.
Yeah.
Was a.
But, so here's one strike,
Yeah.
right?
You got the positive column, then you have the negative
Oh, there you
column.
go. Okay, so Abimelech, he's the son of a concubine. Okay, so still a wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Jephthah is the son of a.
Harlot.
Any inheritance? Any rights?
No.
No.
It shows you what happened in Gilead later too.
Mm.
Shows you how well he did after everything.
Good. Good. So he's the son of a harlot. So kind of, group him a little bit notched down from Abimelech in society.
Another
Okay.
weakness.
Society, yeah.
It's another weakness
Right.
that God is letting
Doesn't
us
care.
know. It's,
He doesn't care what your heritage is. Okay? His brothers.
I'm sorry, I've got to go back to something Margie brought up earlier. I'm reading that, let's see. He's the son of Gilead, named Gilead, probably from the ancestor Gilead, the grandson of Manasseh.
Gaal? Is that who you're talking about?
No,
Nope.
Jephthah.
Jephthah. Numbers 26:29.
When I said
Grandson of who?
Manasseh.
Manasseh.
The most wicked king.
Didn't she bring up Manasseh earlier?
Yes.
That's
But
the
that was
tribe.
about somebody else.
That's the tribe.
Tribe of
That's the tribe.
Manasseh.
That's the tribe.
Right.
So he is Manasseh, so
Who was Margie talking about earlier?
I was talking about that.
Jephthah.
She was talking about Jephthah.
Interesting. And where is that? Numbers what?
Grandson.
Numbers 26:29.
26, 29. I didn't figure they'd print that and that not be right.
I didn't
You know
think
what I mean?
so either.
That was one of our references, wasn't it?
Maybe by referring to him in Gileadite wasn't the fact that it was tribe of Gad, but that he was the son of Gilead.
Yes,
The
that's
person.
possible.
So then it's
The
not
person.
tribe of Gad, so then
The
it's
person,
totally
right.
different.
29, 20, 26, 29.
29.
26, 29. Okay, his brothers drove him away. Okay, denying him any inheritance. Does he have any inheritance?
He doesn't qualify.
Probably not, being a son of a harlot. Okay. Remember, Abimelech was a concubine's son. And who did he gather around him? Verse 3.
Worthless fellows.
Have you read that word before?
Worthless fellows.
Okay. Could we add reckless? I mean, we
Probably.
could, because that's kind of the same. They gathered themselves about Jephthah. So he didn't even go out and look for him. They just naturally gathered around like-minded people. And they went out with him. Okay? Shorten the story. He makes an agreement to fight with Ammon if they will do what?
He's made head of Israel.
Make him head of Israel.
Yeah.
But he used the chief word, which was. if I
He
remember
did.
right,
He
was
didn't say
judge.
king.
I think it was, hold on. If I remember right, it was the same word as judge, which I thought was interesting.
They make him head chief.
Our chief.
So when did they do that? Before he defeats Ammon or after?
That's before, because he says, come and be our chief and
Right.
fight.
Right. So in verse 11, the people made him head and chief over them, and Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord at Mizpah. Okay, let's chase that rabbit a little bit. What do you know about Mizpah? At Gilead. That should say kind of Mizpah Gilead, because verse
Yeah.
29 says at Gilead.
It's a different word, but it means commander of an army.
Chief does.
Okay,
what-
so
yeah,
that's not judge
ruler
or
or
king.
commander specifically of an army usually.
There you go.
That's what it says.
Okay? Chase that rabbit, Mizpah. What do you know? What should be there? Maybe I should ask that.
The altar, isn't it?
The ark.
That's where he,
Right, so the temple.
yeah.
The temple is set up there. Okay, in history, is this the temple or is this the tabernacle?
Tabernacle.
It's the tabernacle, okay? So the ark is there, so that's what he means by speaking it before the Lord. Okay? That gives you a little bit more inclination of what is that? Why is that a big deal? They spoke all these words before the Lord at Mizpah, because that's where the tabernacle is. That's giving credence to what he's saying. Okay? Why would they make him head even before he fights?
Well, they obviously believe in him.
Yeah.
And he's called a
Valiant warrior.
valiant
You know,
warrior.
when
He doesn't get
you-
that reputation just because he kind of.
If you read the order at the very beginning of this chapter,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it almost sounds like he was the oldest.
Oh.
Son of a harlot, obviously lived in his father's home though,
Right.
because when his brothers grew up,
Right. They
they
chased
threw
him out.
He could have
That's
been
interesting.
firstborn,
He could
but
have.
not of the wife.
Yeah, but of the
Obviously
harlot,
not of the wife.
which wouldn't make him firstborn.
Right.
He has no rights. No. He's
But
just a kid in
oldest,
the
I
house.
should say, oldest. He could have been the
That's
oldest.
interesting. Okay, verses 12 to 40. What is that about?
Say again.
What's verses 12 to 40 about? I marked messengers. I don't know about you guys, but they just
Yeah.
keep going and coming and going and coming, and it's not really actually him bringing the message.
Basically, it's him telling the king of Ammon, you don't have any rights here
Right.
because this is how it was.
Right.
He was trying to reason
How does he know
before the
that?
war.
He's trying to negotiate.
Yeah.
How does he know the history?
Well, because he knows, he obviously knows his
He was taught
history.
He was taught.
Yeah.
Somehow he was taught.
And he knows it well too.
But he's the son of a harlot. What's it tell you about his dad? Daddy
Well-
must have taught him something.
He grew up in his dad's house.
There you go. Okay. The king of Ammon says, Israel took my land. Was it his?
No.
No. Is he living there now? Only because
They didn't drive him
they
out.
did not drive them out completely. Okay? That's the only reason he's there. Who's reminding him of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Jephthah's reciting Israel's history. Somehow he knows that.
Uh-huh.
But he's at Mizpah. What's the job of the priest at Mizpah, at the tabernacle?
Teach the commandments of the Lord.
That's their job.
Yeah, and the history. that-
Somebody must be doing their job, I'm guessing.
Well, I love the fact he also said we were supposed to go around you. We asked to go through, and you wouldn't. And
That's right.
God let us beat you.
That's it. And he
Because
doesn't
you
seem
came
to
out
be
against us,
arguing.
yeah.
Doesn't seem to be arguing with that recanting or retelling. But it's his land now.
And then my favorite part is where he compares it. Like, okay, God gave us the win in battle, so we got this. You
Right.
say that you won this battle, so your God takes
Right.
it, but isn't that, like, you know, you can't really use both.
And again, God gave Sihon and his land to Israel. God drove out the Amorites. Now, you know that's got to be some kind of a story in the Amorites' camp of how God did that. They know
Yes.
that. Okay? And he's the God of Israel. So therefore, if God took it, then it's Israel's. There's no argument here whose land it is. You're just occupied. It's time for you to get out.
Yep.
Without bloodshed. We can just sign this paper and say bye-bye. Who does he call judge and deliverer?
The Lord.
Where is he?
Mhm.
It's right before the tabernacle. He knows who is God. He knows who is judge. He knows who is deliverer.
It's
Okay?
interesting that the harlot's son has more faith than almost any of the other ones of Gilead's sons.
Does it matter? Does it matter? Does it matter your past? Does it matter your heritage? Does it matter your bloodline? It doesn't matter. God uses the heart that longs for him. Does it matter? Did you have any choice of how you were born or who you were born to? None. Zero. But
sometimes
what you
God
do with
uses
that
it.
life now, that's
Sometimes
the
God
story.
uses it. He didn't grow up in a life of prosperity like his brothers quite as much. He had to fight more. So
He
God
did.
used it to make him stronger for this kind of moment.
Valiant warrior. So this is a really good question. Why do you want the land now after 300 years? What's the big deal now?
You had all that
Good
time
question.
to speak up.
Good
Yeah.
question. I don't think you had a very good answer. Because you didn't have an answer. Okay, you went to your cross references. I think that's page 57 of your homework in Leviticus. About the vows.
Yeah, burnt offering.
Big discrepancies, discussions about what happened to his daughter.
Yeah.
We don't really know. You can just choose which one you want to, what side you want to fall on. But when you look up the vow, now he made this vow after the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, right? After. Do people do stupid things after the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, the Spirit of the Lord is inside of me and I do stupid things.
Yeah.
Okay? What do you learn about a vow in Leviticus?
That he could have substituted.
He could have. Okay? Hang on just a second. It meant what was to be offered was killed and consumed by fire. His vow is whatever comes out of that door. What do you think is going to come out of that door?
Yeah, I couldn't believe he
A
said
goat?
that. That's what I was
That's what he
thinking.
said. It's either animal or human.
Right. And again, they didn't keep animals inside.
Yeah.
People, a person is going to come out of, great. You're caught up in the moment and you make this stupid. What do you think is going to come out of there? It could be a servant,
But still, it's a person.
but it's still a person. Okay? Leviticus 27. Was this a difficult vow?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very difficult.
Very. Could be redeemed for a price, but verse 28, 29 said there are things that are set apart that cannot be redeemed, and she would be set apart. Yes.
I read Rearsby after doing my study and everything, but one thing he pointed out that thought was interesting is it says that whatever comes out, it shall be the Lord's, and I will offer it as a burnt offering. That "and" can be translated "and" or.
And or.
It's you. I can't remember the exact word, but that translation can be "and" or. And if you read it "or," it shall be the Lord's, or I will offer his burnt offering. It shall be the Lord's dedicated to the Lord, or I'll burn it, depending on if it's like an animal or a person.
Right.
So I thought that was a really interesting translation. If you put "or" there, it made a lot more sense.
Well,
but
and it gives more comfort.
yeah,
It gives more comfort.
it was interesting. That's just
It
weird
could
to
be
me.
either.
He didn't translate the Bible, but he
Right.
said that word can translate "and" or.
Right.
So-
I can't wait till Dennis Prager gets Leviticus done. I just can't wait. He's got Genesis and Exodus. I wish he'd just hurry up because he knows what these words mean. He knows the history of the words. He knows the Hebrew language. He is a Jew of all Jews. His background is unbelievable, and he is doing the Torah verse by verse by verse. Like, I don't want you to hurry, but I really do want you to hurry.
Who's in charge of doing the burnt offerings?
The priests.
Do you think the
Okay.
priest is going to sacrifice a human being?
That's one of the things Rearsby said too. Is
I
he
know,
doesn't
they don't
think
do human
that would've-
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Human sacrifice.
So I'm just like,
He said
I
if
don't
he
know where to go.
had taken his daughter to the priest to sacrifice the way you're
They would
supposed
have
to,
refused.
the priest would have told him the option of doing the paid sacrifice, paid instead of.
Exactly.
So he would have been told.
Because
the
there is
option.
not human sacrifice in Israel.
Yeah,
Right.
So
At
that's
all.
Wearsby does not believe that it was a burnt offering at all.
Personally, I don't either, just because it's a human sacrifice and God vomits at that. So, okay, 1 Samuel 14. Did you get that that was a foolish vow of Saul over Jonathan?
Yep.
I'm like, why would he even say something like that? That he's not supposed to eat but Jonathan didn't know, so Jonathan ate. And now, so Saul's just going to go follow through with his vow and he's going to kill his son. What saved him? The people. People said, we are not doing that. Okay, that's like a general giving an order and they go, no sir.
Are you stupid? We won
Yeah.
because of him.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they could have said and probably did. If you went to Matthew 5 and James 5, New Testament, simple. What are we supposed to do?
This is me, yes.
Yes, yes, and you know we don't. So, again, another child rearing great thing. Did you say you would do it? Yes, but Mom, I don't do it. Did you say yes, you would do it? Yeah. Well, then you gotta do it. That's it. Otherwise, the word means nothing, and therefore, whatever you say, I don't believe it anyway. Well, because you're lying. Because if you say yes, but you mean no, if you say no, but you mean yes, then you're confusing everybody. Simple. Yes, I will be there. Yes, I will do that. Or no, I won't. Or no. We don't even have to put a swear word in front of it. Yes means yes, means no. Verses 12. Oh, yay. We got to the last chapter. Okay, what's your possible theme? And remember, what's your point in making a theme? Fill in the blank. No, don't. That's not it. That's not it. What's your point in making the theme of that chapter?
To remind yourself of what's in
Recall.
it.
What's in it?
Yeah.
Recall, what did I see in here that really either spoke to me,
Right.
or there's a really cool fact in here I don't want to ever forget what was there.
The nugget.
The
That's one
nugget.
to remind me of us.
There you go, the nugget. If you can't find a nugget, just find a repeated word, find a repeated person, find a repeated place, something that made that chapter interesting or stand out to you somehow. Okay, so after having said that, what's your theme?
I used Jephthah School's Ephraim.
Good, good.
And then 3 more judges.
And 3 more judges. Have you seen Ephraim? We didn't call for me to
I
find
went
it.
back and looked
They
for
already did
it.
it again.
I thought it was Gideon, but it wasn't.
No.
It's just like, these tribes, like, why didn't you call me to fight? Why didn't you volunteer to fight?
Yeah.
You know what battle's going on.
Yeah.
It must be over your land, because what else do you fight about? And it's your land, and you're supposed to drive them out. Why don't you just willingly join in the fight?
That was the last time I called you, you said no, so.
So, I didn't call you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, and Abdon. That's possible theme. But schools, Ephraim. I like that. Men of Ephraim complained that they weren't called to fight, but verse 2 says they were. And they didn't help.
Yep.
Why did this whole tribe come before Jephthah and lie?
Well, because now they look like a bunch of big chickens, or they weren't willing to do their part.
Yeah. But wouldn't that make them look more like a...
Well, you know, if you say something
Degenerate?
enough times, or you say it loud enough, people believe it.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's definitely true.
That is definitely true.
That's what they do in politics. Is
I know. Well, look at the media.
So maybe
That's their whole goal in life.
maybe that's why they said that. The 2 tribes fought against each other.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen. And this wasn't 42 men, this was 42,000.
Yeah, it was sad to see.
Wow. And how do they tell whether they were from that tribe or not?
dialect.
The dialect. Right. How they said a certain word.
Yep.
Is that discrimination?
I thought
That
it was pretty
racism?
smart.
Pretty
No,
smart
it's
to know who
just
it
a
was.
fact.
It's just a fact.
It's just a
That's
fact.
who you are, so you're getting killed. Wow. Do you think they're performing the Lord's will?
By killing one another?
Right? By killing your brother? No. I personally, my opinion, I don't think so. Killing your fellow Israelite. That's not your enemy.
Weirsby thought they did.
But it wasn't
Wiersbe
loud.
said because this isn't the first time Ephraim's come up complaining like this, and Wiersbe
Right.
felt
Where
like
was the
it
other
a-
one?
It was Gilead. Because when he chased them, they went and got the other two, and then they came complaining, why didn't you call us
It
the
was
original
the
battle?
It was Gideon.
I mean, Gideon, sorry, Gideon.
So that's
Yeah.
chapter 8.
Yeah. Because
So
when
this
he
is the
chased
second time they've done that.
and
Right. So it's
Wiersbe
kind of
says this
reading
is
about the
God, you know,
character.
and this is like a character thing, that apparently it's probably happened more than that, and this is God saying that's enough, you guys are complaining, you've got to be. That's Wiersbe had reasons on why he felt like it was justified.
Why
but
he felt that they were executing judgment on the Ephraimites.
That's
Wow.
what Wiersbe said, yes. His
And I
opinion-
highly respect him.
His opinion was that it was justified.
Well, it makes
Because
sense.
when I read this, I was kind of back and forth trying to figure out if this guy's a good guy or not. Like, is he kind of
Right.
like
I
the
was
other one
like that
went
too.
good to bad? And I got more went good to bad.
I
But then
do
when
too.
I read Wiersbe was like commending this guy and how great he was. He was a man of faith.
Jephthah.
And, yeah.
How do you back that up in the New Testament?
Well, Hebrews 11.
There you go.
Because he's in the
He's
list.
in the Hall of Faith.
Yeah, he had all kinds of backup, and like, so it surprised me when I read it after reading all this and doing my study. I was like, wait, like
He's a good guy?
Yeah, like so
Right.
he said that this was justified and this was a God thing.
Interesting.
Wiersbe said it.
I don't think it would have been written down for us and be so obvious that God allowed this
Yeah, that's true.
if it wasn't
42,000. That took a while.
purposeful.
That is very true. And they stopped him. Where'd they stop him? Where are they trying to go?
Jordan.
Across the Jordan.
Yeah.
They're trying to cross the Jordan.
Yeah, they stopped
Are the
him before.
Ephraimites across the Jordan? Is their
Yeah.
land across the Jordan?
No,
No. Why would they want to go there?
run away.
Yeah, good point. Okay.
Because once again, they're not standing up for their brothers.
Uh-huh. So Jeff is a judge for 6 years. So add 6 years to, I think we were at 66. I think that's what we were at.
Yeah.
That's the first time he's called a judge.
Yes.
We get his whole story
And-
before we know he's a judge.
Now he's a judge.
And now he's a judge. Right. Okay. I'm like, okay, that's what I thought, but thank you for clearing that up. I knew that to be obvious. I can't put him on my list unless it says he's a judge.
Yeah.
Okay. Who set up judges?
God.
God did.
Yes.
Okay. Hence, he's in the Hall of Faith in chapter 11 of Hebrews. Okay. These are just the people that you got. Ibzan, which is interesting, gave his sons and daughters to marry outside his family. So now they're intermarrying.
Yeah.
You judge.
You know, that's what you want to go, well, again, this is where they are living. These are the pickings, right? This is what they do. So this is what they've been doing and doing and doing and
We
doing.
barter and trade with them.
Yeah, right?
It
In
would be a
business
good
with them,
union if
marry
our
with
two
them.
families got together.
They're going to become a smear. Just like God said. Just like God said. You got 7 years, you got 10 years, you got 8 years. Okay? We're past the 300. But we don't study just to go, okay, now I've got my history lesson done. What questions besides these did you come away with? Because I had to ask myself, who do I follow? Because these worthless, reckless guys followed Abimelech and Jephthah. Well, who do I follow? And do I set them up here, like they can't do any wrong? Because, I mean, I guess Jephthah was like that because he killed 70. Or Abimelech was like that because he killed 70. Nobody stepped in. Where's somebody to step in? They didn't. Unless you don't think so, someone's following you. Someone
Your
is
personal-
watching you.
Your personal calendar and your
Oh.
checkbook could reveal some of these
Will
questions.
reveal.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. But again, isn't it easier just to go inside your house and go, done. It's my little world. This is what I like to do. And then I go out for this, and then I come back and I don't do anything else because it's safe here. Well, that is true. Absolutely true. But what's your purpose in life, in history, in this part of history, for God? What does He have you to do?
What am I doing in my home?
What are you doing in your home?
Is it God's purpose or is it my own?
Correct. Correct. Even Corrie ten Boom, when she was bedridden, what did she do? She prayed. You think there's any Christian that didn't want to be on her list? put me down. Put me down. Do I speak up? No matter the cost. Those watching those 70 brothers get killed didn't. Cost was too great. Cost was too great. So is there a king in my heart ruling that I know? Or is there one I don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Then God's still kind of revealing that to me. Ooh. Well, it causes me to do the things I do, the things I make time for. Because if I make time for it, then it's important to me. Ever since Abby Johnson came and talked, now she's the one that left the abortion. She ran the abortion clinic. Unplanned is her movie. And if you've ever watched that, wow. I had to close my eyes the first part of it because it had an abortion on the sonogram screen. I couldn't watch that. But that's what's happening. Then she was the keynote speaker for the Florida Family Policy Council. I'm pro-life. I am pro-life. Am I? I repost things on Facebook. Yay. I don't support candidates and don't vote for them if they are not pro-life. What else do you do? How do you speak up for that unborn? So there's a thing called 40 Days for Life. Well, that's in the movie too. That's right. What do? They stand in front of the abortion clinic. Oh, ooh, boy, that's personal. Am I that pro-life? That is so
I've been called to do it.
that's scary. Personally, that's just scary. What do I do? What if someone comes out and they're not going to have an abortion and they want counseling? I don't know what to say to them. What am I supposed to say to them? I don't know. It's like, I'm so glad you did. How could I help you? Well, that's a good start.
And just as you prepared your concerns to Kay, you prepared yourself in what you were going to say.
Right.
The facts you had to offer.
Right.
It's the same procedure.
It's the same thing. But that means I have to get up and I have to drive myself
Educate yourself.
to the abortion clinic and place myself with those people that are outside the gate, knowing that these girls going in, either two are going to come out or one's going to come out. So am I pro-life? Am I not? Yeah, that's the question I've had to ask myself this week, because there is a 40-day vigil going on at a abortion clinic in Maitland, which is about 15 minutes from my house. I haven't gone yet. I should. Stay tuned next week, right? It's like, do you want to speak up for the ones that can't speak? Or do you just want to sell the movie and post things on Facebook? That's the question I'm having to ask myself. How pro-life am I? Because as Abby left the dinner, she said, so how pro-life are you? Just coming to this meeting with like-minded people? That doesn't make you pro-life. I thought, oh, well, that hurts. But that's right. She's right. I have to put feet to my belief. So that's not something I just closed the book and I went, okay, I'm going. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, Lord, show me when, show me how, show me if. Is this where I need to go, or is there another venue I need to do? I don't know. I don't know, but I do know I have to stand up for the unborn. I have to do that.
And stand up for the mothers too.
And stand up for the
They
mommies.
don't realize that you're loving on them, but they're gonna. When I taught high school, I had a lot of students have abortions, and I would have one-on-one talk to all of them. And the one that broke my heart the most, I'll never forget, is one girl. She came to me in tears one day because she was pregnant and her mom found out, and her mom was making her have an abortion. And I talked to her and gave her options, gave her places to go, and she did not want to have the abortion, but her
That's so hard.
her mom was, and so she disappeared from school, didn't know what happened to her. She came by a month or so later, just in tears. She wasn't even in school. She dropped out. She just came by to say goodbye to me. And she said that her mom took her and forced her to have the abortion. And then afterwards, her mom made her drop out of school and signed her up for pole dancing lessons because she said the most she's ever going to be in life is a stripper.
Great mom.
And that was and she was coming to say goodbye to me because she wasn't coming back to school.
See, there's
And
always another story.
You never
Story's
know
always
these girls
deeper,
going
isn't
in.
it?
You never know these girls going in and who's
Right.
making them do it or what's going on. And I mean, these were teenagers, and then we had
Yeah.
middle school where I was at that were.
They needed Jesus. They needed that love of Christ.
And
They
I was
loved
at the
it.
same time, I was trying to have a baby and was infertile and like, begging God for a baby
Right.
and trying for 5 years.
Or have it, I'll
so
take it.
I'm having, so that's why I kept telling my students, I'm like, please just give me your baby,
Right,
I would
right.
tell them that, like, but most of the teenagers that had abortions was because parents were making them or boyfriends were
Parents or
making them, or it
boyfriends.
was somebody else pushing really hard the other way that they loved
Right.
and they were trying to.
And they needed the love of Jesus. That's all. That's all. Right? Isn't that the answer? I don't have to have all the words for you. I just want you to know there's love at the foot of the cross, man. And no judgment. None. No sin's greater than the other. Honest. We'll help you through it. How? I don't know. I don't even know what you need.
I think there's
But let's
probably
find it.
so many more that we don't even hear about. I don't even know.
Oh, you know that's true. You know that's true.
And then there's the other side of teenagers that didn't have the baby. I had quite a few teenagers that did end
That
up keeping
did.
the baby and had the baby, but it was a whole other hard luck. I have one that I still support. I still send them clothes and stuff a lot, just because they had a baby in high school and things haven't worked as well.
And they're
they
probably
don't
at
have
poverty
money,
level.
and so I
Yep.
still try to help them out as much as I can because
That's it.
they're. But she chose to have a baby, so I want
She
to
chose
support her,
life.
You
want to
so-
reward that.
Yeah.
We need to be the body of Christ. Okay, I give you about 2 minutes. And I'm going to start it at 5 after.